Two very big pieces of news that came in overnight that I thought I'd get the jump on for you guys. The Supreme Court actually did something decent when it comes to all of these different lawsuits, all of these different legal precedents that Biden's trying to step over in the context of the pandemic, at least so far. And yeah, this is one area that the Supreme Court is pretty good on, okay, because they initially struck down the eviction moratorium, and then the CDC tried to sneak it in there, and then they just kind of changed it up a little bit, hopefully that the Supreme Court wouldn't notice, and then they just fucking smacked it back down again. So this is a victory, and you kind of expect them to fall down on the side of not having an eviction moratorium. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you're not allowed to kick people out of the rental properties that you have. Okay, that is deeply uncapitalistic, which is the foundation of the fucking economy, one of the things that Biden should be trying to kickstart. So again, you're just going to let freeloaders who have had every opportunity to accrue some wealth in order to pay some bills, but because this one was targeted, they thought that they could sneak it through. Yeah, no, the Supreme Court knocked that down. Well, let's see, once they start getting these mask mandates, they start getting these vaccine mandates, vaccine passport lawsuits, what they're going to do then. I don't have a lot of faith there, but when it comes to any way that somebody could turn a profit, I at least gotta give it to them. They're normally going to side with the side of capitalism. I appreciate that. The Supreme Court blocked the Biden administration's targeted eviction moratorium Thursday, saying Congress would have to act to enforce a federal pause on evictions meant to provide protections to renters during the coronavirus pandemic. If they don't want it to end, they have more than enough fucking time to draft up legislation, okay? You can't just get your unelected officials to pass fucking big, sweeping pieces of legislation by themselves. There are systems, okay? You want us to walk you through how you make a bill into law? I thought Schoolhouse Rock took care of that a long fucking time ago. The majority of justices ruled in favor of petitioning landlords are virtually certain to succeed in arguing that the Center for Disease Control and Prevention exceeded its legal authority in issuing the newest moratorium earlier this month. Yeah, they're not saying that it's necessarily illegal. Just the way that Democrats went about this is, in fact, illegal. The court vacated a lower court stay that blocked enforcement of the decision that already overturned a previous rendition of the moratorium. The court's decision delivers a decisive victory to landlords who, for months, have complained of financial injury and asking courts to stop the government from preventing evictions. Again, just because they aren't paying rent, you can't throw them out. But then again, these same cocksuckers, and I'm not saying these are all the people that are out there. Obviously, nobody would be that stupid to make such a grandiose claim. But if you can't throw them out over not paying their bills, what is stopping them from ruining the residents so that if somebody did in fact come in after the fact, after these eviction moratoriums are eventually lifted, you just have a disheveled property that you're going to have to spend more money that you don't have, because there are a lot of people out there that just use these as opportunities to make a little bit of money. They only charge rent just above the mortgage rate, just above what the covering the utilities that are provided in the rental property. Not everybody's fucking kingpin. Not everybody's the slumlord, okay? These are hard working, honest people just trying to invest in real estate, but they're bearing the brunt of all of these fucking bad economic lockdowns. Moratorium has kept applicants, along with millions of landlords across the country, at risk of irreparable harm by depriving them of rent payments with no guarantee of eventual recovery. Again, oh no, this eviction moratorium was only supposed to be an additional 60 days, when they just once again ask for another 60 days. The court also said it strains credulity, that the provision of law that the CDC asserted in issuing the order, a statute passed in the 1944 Public Health Service Act, Biden was in his first term or second term in the Senate, Act that grants the agency such broad authority to intervene between landlords and tenants. It would be one thing if Congress had specifically authorized the action that the CDC had taken, but that has not happened. The court said instead the CDC has imposed a nationwide moratorium on evictions in reliance on the decades-old statute that authorizes its implement measures like fumigation and pest extermination. And again, now, if renters aren't going to pay the rent, feel free to be using fumigation and pest extermination as ways to get them the fuck out. You love to see this, and I'm glad the Supreme Court stepped up and did something proper. Now, to just take a hard right into this Ashley Babbitt shooter. It was Michael Bird. It was Michael Bird the entire time. YouTube, why did you fucking take down this video right here? I don't shill my Odyssey enough, and we're just about out 100 followers over there. The community that's over there is very engaged in things that are going on. The player has a fuck up every once in a while. Okay, sometimes it takes a minute for the videos to mirror over there, and I have a bunch of problems with the back end of it, but other than that, it's a pretty good developing alternative that's out there. Normally I'll shill my Rumble, but in this case I'll shill the Odyssey because I like it as a platform. I like it as an alternative, and I think that it has a very bright future because it has a dearth of content, and maybe if I get around to it, my second channel will be mirrored over there. I'm not entirely sure, just waiting for it to, you know, kind of find its footing at time being, because it's only like not even a week old at this point, so all in due time. But I like it. And as we talk about Michael Bird, if there's anything that hasn't been covered to your liking, trust me, it has been thoroughly gone over in excruciating detail, as best as I can do, over the course of 15 minutes when we talk about him and his prior infractions, because this guy's a fucking idiot. Let's just be completely honest here, okay? A police officer who fatally shot Ashley Babbitt during the U.S. Capitol riots is a 28-year law enforcement veteran who allegedly, there's no allegedly here, he was charged with it and he was disciplined for it, once left a loaded handgun in a restroom of the building, according to a report ahead of the much-anticipated interview Thursday that just went live last night. Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Bird, 53, stepped forward. Not down, because he's a fucking good shot. Wouldn't you want him on the police force? It kind of makes sense. Identified himself as the officer who gunned down the 36-year-old Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt, say her fucking name. In an interview with NBC's Lester Holt, Lieutenant Bird was forced to come forward. No, they were just trying to figure out who the fuck it is. Take any other police shooting that's out there, you know the motherfucker's age, weight, date, height, blood type of the fucking officer before the body's even fucking cold. But this one, oh, she Trump supporter, had red hat, that means bad lady. Anything that she has coming to her, she deserves. Fucking disingenuous cunt. Forced to come forward, though. He was already identified by multiple unscrupulous outlets. I don't know, that used to be called investigative journalism, and they were fucking bang on this one. I don't know what to tell you. And has received hundreds of death threats. Really? We'll get back to this in a second, because we also have the widower of Ashley Babbitt discounts the death threats experienced by the officer who shot her. Suck it up. I like this dude. Unfortunately, he went through a horrific tragedy, because Ashley Babbitt, if you guys remember, is the only person to fucking die at the Capitol Hill that day of actual events that happened at the Capitol. I digress. The widower of Ashley Babbitt told the U.S. police officer who killed his wife during the siege of Congress to suck it up and get over the death threats he had been subjected to since the shooting. Again, he had never been publicly identified, just by Real Clear Politics and a couple other people who did some investigative journalism and figured out it was in fact Lieutenant Michael Bird who did it. So would he actually be receiving death threats, credible death threats? Did he go forward with any of those death threats, or is this just another one of those things? I did a bad thing, and instead of taking responsibility for it because everybody already cleared my name, and then it just took me a long time to come forward and actually, you know what, fess up to something that I did that was tragic and had overarching consequences. No. I received death threats, and people have been mean to me online, and they've said bad things like the N-word to me. Pointing to his own experience, Aaron Babbitt discounted Officer Michael Bird's stated dismay over the people threatening to kill and decapitate him since he fatally shot Ashley Babbitt. Again, we keep hearing about these white right-wing extremists, okay? Oh, and they're just so racist and awful, but nobody ever provides receipts, okay? Yeah, there's a fucking mental case right there, but that's, what's his name? Yeah, Dylan Roof. He wanted to spark a race war. That's a motherfucking insane person. You can discredit him totally. But again, I received death threats. Sure he did, pal. I don't even want to hear him talk about how he's getting death threats and he's scared, Aaron Babbitt, because he's never, prior to the Lester Holt interview, never publicly came forward and identified himself, and the Capitol Hill Police Department kept him under the cover of night. I don't know what to tell you. I've been getting death threats since January 7th, and 2, 3, 5, 10 a day. And I all did on January 6th was become a widower. So you're going to have to suck it up, bud. Take it. Yeah, exactly. That's, Aaron Babbitt right there. So again, does he have the receipts? Probably. And if Bird has the receipts, guess what? You mash them two together and you fucking throw them out. So I don't know what to tell you. You're going to get no simpy from me. Oh, but this is Bird's attorney, Mark Schammel, who said that, unscrupulous outlets, hundreds of death threats. He had to live in hiding because the FBI threat assessment was so serious. Sure it was. Sure it was. All of that violence that happened that day. I remember those 2 broken windows and smashed and whatever. Bird, who joined the force in 1993, also made headlines in 2019 for leaving his loaded gun in the Capitol restroom, according to the Daily Mail. We covered that in the previous video as well. I'll link to that anyways. And the cop who was exonerated last week after an internal probe. Yeah. Weird coincidental timing on this interview, don't you think? He did nothing wrong. Oh, I've been receiving death threats. Yeah, fuck off. Had been seen in plain clothes and had his gun drawn as riders stormed the building on January 6, according to the outlet. Bird's name was reportedly known to federal investigators and the U.S. Capitol Police. Of course it was. But officials have refused to disclose it, citing concerns about his safety. His safety. How often do we see a right-wing retaliation? Can anybody point to an event that wasn't Charlottesville? Anybody? No? Okay. But his identity had not been confirmed publicly until Thursday. Babbitt's family attorney, Terrell Roberts, called his decision to reveal his identity an unexpected turn of events. Yeah, because they were suing to get his identity out there. Quite a turnaround, given the months of constantly saying that to identify him would expose him to danger. Where'd that one go? Roberts told the Daily Mail. Yeah, exactly. U.S. Congress wants to protect him. He's got friends in high places, and they want to protect him. But Bird's attorney shot back on the assessment, calling the client a hero. Of course he would. He's his fucking client. He's paying him to call him a hero. Those who say he received special treatment are correct. Oh, I'm sorry. Should know better than to perpetuate those lies. Oh, is this dude going to start perpetuating lies? I bet. And seek to avoid the fact that Lieutenant Bird's conduct was legal, justified, and appropriate and necessary. Yeah, because an internal investigation by the Capitol Hill Police Department determined they haven't let us know any of the procedures and policies that they followed in order to determine that what he did was legal and lawful. All we have is our own lying eyes to go by. But anyways, yeah, no, everything that he did was on the up and up. We'll just never know the methodology that led them to that decision. And that's fine because he's in danger unless he's on NBC News and he can get an interview with Lester Holt on national television. Okay. The attorney said Bird had a decorated career and really can open his fly with a service revolver like nobody else, or a service pistol rather. Fuck my own joke. God damn it. He came forward reluctantly. Really? On national television, on NBC's nightly news. Reluctantly. To respond to the lies and misinformation that has been spread by those with political agenda, and who seek to profit off this event, said a lawyer. Okay. It is shameful that anyone would seek to profit off the crimes they committed on January 6th. No, most of them are still in solitary confinement, and if not, they get fucking weak-kneed plea deals and end up getting fucking probation or a couple months already served, and yeah. End up pleading down to nothing more than aggressive finger pointing. But yeah, if you want to go see the interview, seems kind of fucking useless if you ask me. Bird shot Babbitt to death as she tried to climb through a busted out window into the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's lobby. There was so many fucking offices in that hallway that they were in. It's tough to say. We can't really ask Ashley Babbitt for comment now, can we? Into the lobby as part of a wild mob disrupting the certification of Biden's victory. Victory in brackets. Oh, they don't have it in brackets, right? Anyways, yeah, so Michael Bird, he's been investigated by internal investigations of the officer's decision to shoot Babbitt, concluded that he should not face criminal charges. Nothing will happen, no justice for Ashley Babbitt, and he's a hero. I've been told by the likes of NBC Times, or rather NBC Nightly News, the New York Times, and Washington Post. So I believe everything that I see from the mainstream media. I feel bad for the Babbitt family, 100%. They didn't deserve this, but this is the fate that they got, and there is a two-tier justice system, and I don't have anything really optimistic to end on. It kind of sucks. Oh, hey, if you got a rental property, you can start kicking bums out. How about that? I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.